Hello, I'm Dr. Justin Skrinsky, MD, board certified in internal medicine. As a physician, lots of folks have been asking me about my thoughts on COVID-19, so I thought I'd simply share them here. First, what COVID-19 is not. COVID-19 is not the plague. It's not the zombie apocalypse. It's nothing we need to bother Morgan Freeman over. It's not a Chinese plot against the US. It's not a US plot against China. And it's certainly not a good reason to buy up all the toilet paper at Costco. I mean, seriously guys, I'm down to my last roll here. What COVID-19 is this little guy, a coronavirus. So named for the Latin corona, meaning crown, indicating the halo around the viral particles. COVID-19 has RNA, which functions similarly to the DNA in your own cells. When a viral particle manages to attach to a human cell, it squirts some RNA into the cell, which basically hijacks it and turns it into a little factory for making more COVID particles. Those new viruses are then free to go on to infect other cells and continue the cascade. Sounds kind of scary, right? But fear not, your body has an impressive array of natural defenses against these types of infections. B cells make antibodies that neutralize viruses, natural killer cells hunt and destroy infected cells. There's even a protein called dicer that acts like molecular scissors and chops up that viral RNA when it enters a cell. You see, we're made of cells, and cellular life has evolved right alongside viruses probably from the very beginning. In fact, you might have had a different type of coronavirus in the past which could have been nothing more than just a cold. So why the fuss about COVID-19, and should we be more or less worried than we are? Let's take the granddaddy of them all, influenza. Using CDC data, since 2010 in the United States alone, there's something like 9 to 45 million symptomatic cases of influenza every year. That's a lot. Add to this between 140 and 810,000 hospitalizations and 12 to 61,000 deaths every year as well. At the time of filming, COVID-19 has about 118,000 cases and 4,200 deaths worldwide, with about 1,000 cases and 36 deaths in the United States, including 2 confirmed cases right here in the great state of Michigan. Compared to influenza, seems like small potatoes, right? But now we've got a travel ban, quarantine zones, runs on basic commodities, the NBA canceling their season, and the World Health Organization declaring a pandemic. So what the hell? By the WHO's own definition, a pandemic is the worldwide spread of a new disease. Simple as that. Doesn't mean you'll see Dustin Hoffman in a moon suit in your neighborhood anytime soon. To see why people are scared of COVID-19, we have to take a look at 2 things called virulence and transmissibility. Virulence, simply put, is how sick the disease makes you, where transmissibility is how quickly and easily the disease can spread. The reason why we're concerned about COVID-19 is that it seems like it's easier to transmit and a bit more deadly than regular old influenza. How much so? Well, influenza has a mortality or death rate of about 0.1%, where COVID-19 is about 2%. So while COVID-19 is significantly more deadly than influenza, in the absolute sense, it's still not very likely to kill you, especially when compared to other more deadly types of coronavirus such as SARS and MERS, which had mortality rates of about 11 and 36% respectively. Now let's take a look at transmissibility. COVID-19 is about twice as transmissible as influenza. One person with COVID-19 can infect about 2.5 other people in close proximity, whereas for influenza it's about 1.5. So we've got a virus that's a bit more deadly and more transmissible than influenza. In fact, because COVID-19 isn't as deadly as some of its scarier relatives, it might be easier to transport. Affected people might only have cold symptoms, or they might be asymptomatic completely during the roughly 5 to 6 day incubation time. Now, who's the most at risk? As with influenza, it's the chronically ill, as well as the elderly, defined as people over the age of 60. Sorry, Mom. If you don't fit that category, then your chance of dying from the disease drops off dramatically. Let's say you do get the disease. What then? Currently, there are no medications or vaccines for COVID-19, so it's what we call supportive care, where we take care of your symptoms and treat any possible complications. Then we rely on all those wonderful immune mechanisms in your body to clear the infection. But sadly, sometimes our best simply isn't enough. Reactions to this virus have ranged the entire spectrum from the end of the world to why should I care about a cold? At its best, I think the global response can be viewed as a strong effort, or maybe even an overreaction, but one designed to protect a vulnerable segment of our population. Whether this is appropriate, not enough, or completely exaggerated, I leave up to you. It's important to mention that because there's no medication against COVID-19, the best defense is to have a strong, healthy body. Eat well, sleep well, get some exercise. Be smart and practice good hand hygiene. Cover your coughs. If you get COVID-19, it's not the end of the world, but for some folks it can be very serious, or even lethal. I think it's worthwhile to note that the name influenza comes from the Italian meaning influencer. Just like that perennial disease that costs us tens of thousands of lives every year, COVID-19 has certainly influenced our lives in many ways as well. But while the virus is real, fear, panic, and ignorance don't have to be. Don't let the sensationalism control you. Be informed, be rational, be kind, and above all, be healthy.